welcome to the Chow Hall with Sergeant Chow and Tiny J.
What up, show-offs?
We're your hosts. He's Tiny J.
Hey.
I'm Sergeant Chow. And on the Chow Hall, we are going to fill your hole
With delicious food.
That's right. We come up with a different item to cook every episode, and this week we are doing an American classic, an international classic, a food that is featured in almost every walk of life that you can cook a million different ways and is delicious almost every way. Potatoes. All right, and I love mashed potatoes. My homemade mashed potatoes always get people coming back for seconds, always. And it's really a pretty simple recipe.
It is.
It is you see all the ingredients that we're gonna use are right here. Milk, butter, pepper, garlic salt, and Yukon Gold potatoes.
So why Yukon Golds instead of russets?
So this is a good point, Tiny J, because I do like using russets to make mashed potatoes, but we are just going to eat these standalone. There's not going to be any gravy or anything like that, and so the Yukon Golds are a little less starchy, and so they're gonna finish as a smoother mashed potato that is going to be better to eat just by itself. And then I use russets if I'm going to do any kind of gravy because they're flaky. They come out as flaky mashed potatoes and they hold that gravy real nice.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is it. These are the ingredients and we're making mashed potatoes today. But we don't like cooking while we don't have a drink in our hands.
It's very true.
So today, while we are cooking, we are making a fabulous treat. Some of you may or may not have heard of it. It's called a Bloody Molly. So imagine a Bloody Mary, but insert Jameson whiskey into instead of vodka.
I've never thought to do that. And I don't drink Bloody Marys because I don't like vodka, but I love Jameson and whiskeys.
So once I had a Bloody Molly, I have never wanted a Bloody Mary since then. I've always asked for it like this. So I hope you might like this, man. This might be good. Okay, so here's how you make a Bloody Molly. First, I'm going to go ahead.
What are you going to talk about these ingredients here?
Yeah, we've got spicy pickled green beans, little baby pickles, feta cheese stuffed olives, pepperoncinis, pickled okra, and I think it's like a Haverty cheese.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The only one of these I've never seen is this. I'm way intrigued on pickled green beans.
What's nice about these is we're also going to end up using this as our stirring stick. Little bit of Jameson, eh? I'm going to block your view of me pouring this because I'm going to get a little bit more than a little.
Yeah? Why don't you make me like an average?
Yeah, I got you, bro. And then, there's a lot. You can make your own Bloody Mary mix. And it certainly can be a rewarding experience where you can make something really delicious that is better than anything that you can get off of the shelf. But you can also screw some Bloody Mary mix up.
Yeah.
And
like putting vodka in it.
The stuff that you get at the store is just consistent. You know what I mean? So, and this is why you load those things up with a little bit more alcohol, because we basically just use that whole thing of Bloody Mary mix.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, whiskey is it's got that smoky kind of flavor to it that just...
Oh, it smells good.
Right? It seems like it goes much better with a spicy tomato.
Oh, wow, that's... The smoky, it's almost more...
I'm telling you, buddy.
What the hell?
Bloody Molly's.
Bloody Molly is where it's at, guys. Bloody Molly's where it's at.
All right, so let's get to making some taters. Yeah, time to peel potatoes.
Time to peel potatoes.
Let's do it.
Does this take you back to being like an insignificant scum in the military?
I never peeled potatoes in the military.
No?
No, I never peeled potatoes in the military.
I'll never forget.
I peeled plenty of potatoes at the restaurant.
Yeah?
Plenty. And I said, lady, your ass looks like a potato.
And then I knocked that bitch out like a sack of potatoes.
Okay.
All right.
So we've got the potatoes peeled.
Before we get, I got a comment on this knife. That is like, are you a woodsman about ready to go kill your own game and make something delicious with it?
Doesn't it kind of feel like that? It kind of feels a little bit like murder when you use it.
I was going to say, are you sure you're not like getting ready to go, kill like some some teenage counselors or something? This is what Sergeant Chow does to relieve stress, everybody. He cuts potatoes.
I shaved that one.
I'm going to kill it.
So now, what we're going to do is we're going to pour cold water over these. We are not going to drop these down into hot water. We're going to pour cold water onto these and start them with cold water on them, okay? Now I got these in a pot of cold water.
What's this lovely bougie pink thing you're using?
It's a pink, it's Himalayan salt.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to salt the water. I mean, I wouldn't be sparing with it. And by the way, I put pepper in with my potatoes too. I don't know that it makes a big difference one way or the other.
I've never seen that, but yeah.
But I figure if you're going to put salt in there, why not put pepper in there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we just go put these on the stove. We'll cook them on medium-high heat. I generally don't cook them all the way at super high, just because, especially when you got this many potatoes, some of those get kind of stuck down at the bottom. So I kind of go medium-high until these boil, and then we'll show you how to tell when they're done. It is on the stove. We are set to medium-high, and we just wait for this sucker to come to a rolling boil. So how do you know when the potatoes are done?
Yeah, tell me how we know the potatoes are done.
Put a fucking fork in it.
A fucking fork?
Put a fucking fork in it.
Fucking fork.
As soon as your fork just easily, with no effort whatsoever, just slides into these potatoes like this is doing.
Yeah, see how they're breaking apart.
They're breaking apart, and I can't even like pull them out hardly because that's how you know the potatoes are done. You wait until that moment and not a second before, otherwise your taters are going to be nasty because they're not cooked all the way through. Oh, let's get a little steam bath, Tiny J.
Oh yeah? Steamy. You know I like it steamy.
It opens up the pores, you know what I mean? They say this is why Italian women have such good skin. Because they stand over the top of their strained pasta with all that steam coming off of it.
The pasta?
Yeah. Okay, so we've got these potatoes strained back into their original pot. The next step, we have got, for that many potatoes, I'm going to do a full stick of butter. It might seem like a lot of butter to some of you, but shut the fuck up, you're an idiot.
Curious, do you use a salted or unsalted butter?
I use a salted butter. The only time I use unsalted butter is on baking.
Now I know some people use a cake mixer or a blender sometimes to make their mashed potatoes. How are you doing yours?
You know, my favorite method is this guy right here. And I think the reason that I like it is because so it's not going to get everything. I'm still going to have chunks of potatoes in this with this masher. If you use those ricers or those ones where it's like the holes, you're going to just like totally mash everything. There's going to be no chunks left in it. You use this, as long as you don't sit over the top of it and just smash away, you still have some chunks of potatoes. And since we're going to eat this without gravy or anything else, you know.
You want potato.
Yeah, a little chunky, right?
Yeah,
like a little hearty.
You don't want a puree, you want potatoes.
That's right. So we're going to let this butter melt, and then we're just going to mash the potatoes in with the butter. We're not going to add any of the other ingredients yet. The first step is just kind of to mash these potatoes. Okay, so now I've got my spatula. And so here's what we do is we salt and pepper to taste. So I am going to add milk to these. But the milk is really only going to be for the consistency of the potatoes. The flavor is going to come from the butter that we've already got in there, this garlic salt, and the pepper. So what we're going to do is we're going to incorporate this, stir it in, taste it, and evaluate whether we need more.
Yeah, and as a side note, guys, be very cautious on your salt when you first do this because you've salted your water as well.
We salted the water and we use salted butter.
Yep.
I'm just dragging this all over. See, you can see the more that you stir it,
yeah, it starts.
The more it starts to gum up on you. Now the milk is gonna take that problem away. But first, let's make sure.
Oh, let me get down on that.
It's hot.
I know I am.
I think we need a little bit more salt.
I agree. I could go for more pepper too.
Yeah,
Me
probably
personally.
a little bit more pepper. Agreed. So we work on the taste first.
Yeah, let me give you a hand now.
Got it?
You got it? All right.
Yeah, I got it. I've been doing this for a minute, Tiny J.
All right.
You can still see the chunks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so there's still some good chunks in there. So
how do you know how much milk to put in here?
you're just going for consistency. So we go just a tiny bit at a time.
Tiny bit at a time.
All right, we put about that much in.
About a glug.
I can tell that is not going to get it done already.
Yeah. Because those starches are really starting to set up now.
That's right. Yep. So we're going to go just a tiny bit more, just a glug, like you said.
Yep. And the milk's really helping break down that starch and not make it as tacky now, right?
Oh yeah, no, it's easier to stir for sure. I think we still need just a little bit more. And once again, the consistency of your mashed potatoes could, be considered like, what are you using it for?
Yeah. So we got this plated up now, huh, Sergeant Chow?
Oh, it is plated up. It looks delicious.
Yes, it does.
Look at that plate of taters.
What'd you put on the top there?
I just a little bit more black pepper since we both like it so much, and just a little bit of parsley. I'm not trying to add anything to this that's going to give it a whole ton of flavor. Like if you was to put thyme or rosemary on here, that's really going to give these potatoes a different flavor. Parsley is just mostly just for the color.
Well, and if you're going to add those kinds of things in, you should put it in with like a cream and incorporate it into the potatoes.
Yes, sir. Exactly. Yeah. All right. So now the moment of truth.
All right.
Will everyone love these potatoes?
That's a pretty damn good potato.
That is a damn good potato.
Wow.
You could easily put gravy on that or eat it standalone.
Yeah, it does have the fluffiness I would want from like when I'm doing potatoes with gravy.
And that's, I think, what comes from not mashing it up quite so much. Not getting it like down to that smash smoothness.
And guys, Yukon Golds, I don't use them very often myself. I use russets all the time. They definitely have a different taste to them.
They do.
I don't know. It's almost like a richer, maybe a little sweeter taste to it.
No, it's, man. And you can literally do anything with these potatoes. I mean, the possibilities are limitless. Maybe that's a little bit of foreshadowing. Maybe we should do something with these taters, you think?
Yeah, I'm sure we can come up with something.
Let's think about it.
Yeah.
But so far, so good. That's the Chow Haul with Sergeant Chow and Tiny J, and we hope that your hole is filled.
I know mine is.
We are Oscar Mike.